I recently received an email from John, who found me through one of my earlier videos. And he asked me, why does being gifted and highly sensitive often make me feel lost? He continues to write, I find myself in this cycle of events where I am oscillating between being lost and feeling ecstatic and alive. Well, John, welcome to the club is the first thing I would love to say to you. This is something that is so recognizable for people who are in this group, although there are many different kinds of people and not all of them process things the same. But if you have a combination of being highly sensitive, you're gifted, you have lots of creativity, empathy for the world, then these cycles come with it. Maybe there are ways to mitigate them or to improve the situation, but I've always found myself to have these sort of cycles too, and many people that I know who are gifted, many friends that I have, many gifted friends, good friends, they are going through the same process. But what I did find is that with time, these deep valleys, these deep cycles, they were getting smaller. So instead of having these very big oscillations between feeling lost completely and then the next moment feeling like you're the god of the universe, the edge is coming off. So yeah, that's something. I don't know what your age is, so if you can email me back or comment on the video, that's great. But to answer your question, yes, being highly sensitive, feeling lost sometimes, I would say it's part of the equation. If you look at giftedness, the overexcitabilities, the much more processing that's happening in the background, and also being very sensitive to all kinds of stimuli, maybe even seeing conflicting values in the world, or a deep rooted feeling of injustice, feeling like a misfit in this world. And still, despite being hurt by people, having this big empathy for their well-being, that can really make you feel lonely. So yes, I do think that it's inherent to being gifted. And people have always asked me to define giftedness, and that's very hard for me to do, because I have been to all of these well-known giftedness clubs where people go to, these societies. And what I found is that there is not a one-size-fits-all, but at the same time there is no one type of category that's being described as gifted. If we just look at it as an IQ score, we won't get very far. I mean, I know some people who are more towards the autistic spectrum, and they often lack the social skills. They are very analytical driven. They don't truly listen to what people say. They always want to be right. Those kinds of people often excel at things that I couldn't. For example, math or doing some obscure science thing that's very very niche and very focused on one little thing, being the expert in one little dimension. That's also profoundly interesting, and those people are definitely gifted. But that's not the type of giftedness that I often encounter with people who struggle with these things, because many of these people that are actually going to the academic world and do science, for example, for some reason they they often struggle less with those types of existential questions, at least in my experience. So it's interesting because many of the people who usually find my channel, they feel a lack of emotional connection to others. They would love to show them their true colors, but instead they are playing a role. They are the chameleon. They change colors wherever they are to blend in. And that's a different part of that's a different part of why people feel lost, right? I mean, it's because there's much to be gained by surrounding yourself with these similar type of people, but it's hard to find them. And you also notice that some people are very smart, but they might not be very into thinking about what happens to the world, or what happens, like morals as well, ethical things. And from reading your email, I can tell that you are in the group that often emails me, where they feel lonely. And over the last few decades, I've felt extremely lonely from time to time, but I've also felt extremely loved, and that's the beauty of it. Once I realize, and every time I'm making videos like this, it reminds me of the amazing pool of human potential and the amazing number of people that I've never met but would really surprise me, would really make my heart glow, so to speak. So yeah, John, I would say that you're totally normal, and it's part of being who we are. And I hope that you find a bit of solace in that, given that it's something that we all experience as being gifted, especially the ones who have this big antenna, what I would call it. If you're very in tune with the world around you, and you feel misunderstood a lot, and especially when you feel like you can never truly show your colors around others because they might not understand you, or they might not like you, or whatever the reason is, it's part of being gifted. It's part of being a polymath. Many people will not understand, or they will even accuse you of doing something for fame or other nefarious reasons. But as long as you know deep inside that what you're doing is truth, and what you're doing is good, and is aligned with your inner compass, that's all that matters, John. That's all that matters. So please take care of yourself. And try not to think too much, because that's also one of the major issues that we face whenever we feel these cycles. And it's normal, because we are people that always want to find answers to the questions that sometimes don't have direct answers. So instead of trying to fix this rationally, maybe just try to meditate or enjoy music, go out in nature for a walk. Those may sound as simple ideas, but don't reject them just on that basis. John, thank you very much for asking this question.